Hello everybody. The weekend of finishing is continuing. This is a little padded, I'm calling it a stadium pad, or I spend some time watching marching bands in the fall and my tuchus gets a little cold. So inspired by Lucy Neatby's quilted double knitting, I created this little stadium seat. And I'm going to show you some things. I started with an I-cord. It has a built-in I-cord on either side. It's not as evident as it would be against a garter stitch fabric. It's 12 pairs of stitches, or 24 stitches across, 4 sections of that, separated by one stitch that's only knitted on the right side. I marked the right sides because if I knitted it on both sides, I had double the amount of stitches. So I'm going to show you all of this. I had to hold the camera up here first to show you from a distance, and then I'm going to show you how I separate the layers, how I stuff the layers, and then how I reconnect the layers, because I think that'd be too hard to explain. This is all inspired by and taught by Lucy Neatby's 2 classes. One is at her DVD, double knitting, and then the other one is Foundations of Double Knitting on Craftsy, both of which I highly recommend. So let's get started. Here we go. I have this on a single circular knitting needle, and sorry about the ambient noise. I have neighbors coming up and down and doggies voicing their concern about that. So I've marked one side as the right side, and I'll show you why. So I start with the built-in I-cord. You'll see this is slipped at the end of the row, and I start by knitting 5. And I do it somewhat tightly because it is a 5-stitch or 4-stitch I-cord. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4-stitch I-cord, and now I have 12 pairs of double knit stitches. Lucy would call this near ahead of far, where my near stitch is ahead of the far stitch. I'm only working the near stitches and slipping the far stitches. So knit, slip, knit, bring the yarn to the front and slip, knit, slip, all the way out. So with the markers that are coming up, I have 1 pair of stitches that separates each of the blocks. And on the right side, I knit those. I'm going to continue that across the row, and we'll come back when I get to the other side. Just knit and slip and knit and slip. These are 12 pair across, but it's a 19 high, being as stitches are fatter than they are tall. I need to have more rows to get a somewhat square. And you might be wondering why I don't have 4 rows, because bleachers aren't that deep, and I might not have enough yarn to finish it. So I'm only going to do the 3 rows, and I may do, on one side I may do an I-cord loop, but we'll see how I feel when I get there. So I'll see you on the other side. So here we come to the end of my right side row, where I'm knitting the stitches ahead and slipping the stitches far until I get to the last 5 stitches. This one is the slip stitch, and these 4 are part of the I-cord. So I slip all 4 of them with the yarn in front. If you've ever done an I-cord border on anything, a built-in I-cord border, you know that you bring the yarn to the front and then you slip the 4 stitches and turn. So when I knit the other side, this will pull together and create this border. It might have been fun to make the I-cord border in garter stitch, but that is way past being able to be done. So I'm going to knit the 4 I-cord stitches. Now I'm on the quote-unquote wrong side. And then I'm going to knit the stitches that I had slipped in the previous one and slip the stitches that I knitted, knit and slip, and and slip. And then I'm going to show you what I get to when I come to the dividing lines. Because I only create one full row of fabric front and back when I finish two sides. The front side is worked, the back sides are slipped, and then the back side is worked while the front sides are slipped. So what I've discovered, if I knit these dividing stitches every row, there were twice as many of these stitches than these stitches. So I decided and marked the front so that I worked both stitches on the front, and in the back I slipped them with the yarns in front of them. So they only get worked once every 2 rows, the same way as these stitches only get worked once every 2 rows. So I'm going to go to the beginning. I'm going to work my way across here and show you how I stuff the little squares. I'm using some roving when I was a little into learning how to spin. I just found it took time away from my knitting. I liked it, I thought it was fun, but when was I going to get all my knitting done? Anyway, I'm probably going to edit some of this out because it's better than starting stopping. So slipping these with the yarn behind the stitches. Third one. I just remembered the names of Lucy's double knitting CDs, Double Knitting Delight. It is so insightful and it will make your brain explode. And so fun. And I hope she doesn't mind me showing you some of the techniques therein, but I didn't know how else to explain how I knitted this. And I thought it wouldn't be a bad thing to just show you how to stuff the little squares. While I highly recommend her videos. If you want your mind to open up and learn a new technique, those two, the class, the Craftsy class and the DVD. And you don't even have to pay for shipping on the DVD. You can order the electronic version and watch it online. You can download them to your iPad and watch them whenever you want. I just think that for me, double knitting is crazy fun, and her techniques and explanations are great. So I'm back to the last slip stitch and then the 4 I-cord stitches that I am slipping. So now I'm on my last row and I need to stuff and fuse. So each of these is a pocket, ideally, if I didn't make any mistakes. So it's a pocket, but this technique Lucy calls quilting. We could just knit and purl, do a rib to seal it, but I like this pulling the spar stitches to the front and pushing the near stitches to the back, and you have a really clean ridge, and while you're doing that you stuff. So the first thing I'm going to knit the I-cords, cord. It's 4 stitches, 3, 4, and then I'm going to separate my pocket to open it up so that we can stuff it. So I have 2 needles, I'll hold them parallel, and I'll slip the front stitches to the front and the back stitches to the back. And you'll see that by double knitting we've created a pocket. Obviously you can do color, you can do the front side in one color and the back side in another color. I'm not very colorful in my knitting, which is 180 degrees opposite of Lucy. Her color sense is amazing to me, but it's really not me. I don't do the last few stitches because we can get in there now and I don't want my markers to fall off. These markers, by the way, are my new favorite, and they are from, is it Church House? I'll get it. I love them. So I have some roving here. I don't know what it is. I suspect it's Blueface Leicester, which was my favorite. And I take double the size square, and I pull and I try. It's starting to felt because it's been banged around in that bag. But here's my double piece. I fold it in half. And then in my little pocket, that's where I put it. Then put it back on my needle, trying to pay attention that the far stitches stay far and the near stitches stay near in the same order that they were knitted so that I don't mess them up when I do the row. So I haven't tested this out. This is simply a theory. I probably should have swatched it that this will be warm. But I can't imagine that roving isn't going to be warm. This doesn't feel right, but I'm going to just keep going. The order seems out of it. Just whenever knitting is hard or awkward, I think something's wrong because knitting always wants to behave. Alright, turn it around, front side facing. And this is the I-cord that we have to get going in the right order. So here we go. And I was right. See, those stitches were somehow out of order. What is that? It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to have to put them all back in order now. Because for me, my near stitch, this side of the pocket, is the first stitch you encounter, and it's going to screw up if I don't have it that way. You see these? And I'll just put it back. I guess showing you a mistake is a great way of explaining further kind of some of these subtle techniques of double knitting. Does it take twice as long? I don't know, maybe, but okay, so now I have my pocket stuffed nicely, and I want to fuse the front and the back. And I kind of came up with this movement, I think, after, of course, being taught by Lucy, but I want to get this stitch pulled through this stitch. So I slip it, I slip the two, and then I pass this one over. I keep them on the needle, I knit this one because now this is the near stitch, right? And then with the yarn in front, I slip the back one. I'll show you that again. This is part of the front. I slip them both, and then I pass, almost like a bind off, I pass the front stitch, which is now going to become the back stitch, and the back stitch is now the front stitch. So I knit the front stitches and slip the back stitches. Do it a couple times. Slip them off, knit the front, slip the back. There might be a faster way of slipping them, but then they're in place for me to work them, so I can make sure they're not twisting. Slip, and now they're ready on my needle to work. Knit the front, slip the back. Slip them, pass that one over, knit the front, slip the back. And I'm just going to do that repeated 3 more times for the 3 more pockets. I'm going to return, and then I'm going to attach the I-cord at the end, make a loop, and I will be done. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Learn to double knit by Lucy's videos. Bye. So here I am at the end of this final row of, I am fusing the 2 ends together. Once again, I slip my 2 stitches. First stitch over last stitch, and I knit it, yarn to the front, and slip. And I'm going to take you to the end, and then I'm just going to show you the other side, and then how I have in my mind that I'm going to finish this. Whether we'll see if it works. This is sort of an exercise in a little bit of, I don't have it written, I've just been fudging it as I go along. It's not too hard, so here are my 4 I-cord stitches, yarn to front, and slip the 4 over. So now I'm on the back side, and these sides are fused. I found a mistake right here. You can see the stitches these are a little wonky. I had some mistake in the double knitting right here, where the front and the back layers were fused. So I just dropped down a few rows, fixed things, but I've got a little bit of a looseness that I'm trying to redistribute. I probably am going to wash this in the washer to felt it a little, so that will, I don't know how that's going to work. Okay, so knit 4 I-cord stitches. 2, 3, 4, and now I'm just going to work the front and slip the back. And by work the front, it's a knit, and they're a little wonky because it was pulled through. And that's all you do here. And here I am once again at the end. I have one more stitch to slip, and then the 4 I-cord stitches to slip, and I'm going to turn. And now I want to attach an I-cord across the top. The first 4 stitches are the I-cord. 1. Sorry, I keep going out of the frame. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to knit another. I'm going to transfer them over and knit one more to kind of make the corner. I'm going to unattach so that they're unattached, so that it'll make this corner easier. I think I'm even going to make one more. 2, 3, and now I'm going to knit this one together with this one. I just do a knit 2 together, and slide them back, and I'm going to do that a couple times and see how it looks. There's no right or wrong, and I'll show you a couple more times. You probably know how to do an attached I-cord. 1, 2, 3, and I slip, and I slip. I'm going in the stitch the right way, and I'm going in the other stitch the right way, so they kind of might get a little distorted at first. Well, that's messed up, so maybe I'll fix it before I go in it. There, now slip back. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to slip this one first and then put it back and knit it together with the one on the needle. I want to split yarns. 1, 2, 3. See how this one is a little twisted? It's going to work out better if I don't have to go in stitches 2 different ways. So as you can see, the I-cord is going up and around. I'm going to go all the way to the end. I'm going to make a loop, and I'll show you the loop when I get back. I'm back for the final, what's that? What's blocking? This little shadow? Oh. Back for the final chapter. Maybe the light will fix it. Something I discovered while doing the attached I-cord is, where's my other one? Here it is. I am going to attach them in pairs. It got a little wavy, so I'm going to go back and fix that. But when you do an I-cord, usually you just, because of knitting ratios and rows to stitches isn't always right. Sometimes you have to take 2 for 1, or take 2 every 4th row. But since there really is twice as many stitches as we need, I went through both the front and the back stitch in attaching the I-cord, and that resulted in a much better, see how it waves out there, so I'm going to pull back to there to do it. But while I was doing this, I was just going to finish the video and show you that what happened. Little discovery. So I go through the last stitch. Oh, you can't even see. Go through the last stitch and the front and the back, and all back on the needle. And when I get to the end, I'm not going to do these last 4 stitches. I am going to do a bunch of free I-cords and then when I get to here I am going to graft the beginning to the end. So I'm going to pull out all the way down to here because I've got a little wavy that I don't like. I'm going to redo it. So here we are. I went back and you can see this looks much better. It's not all wavy and wonky. And then at the end I continued my I-chord up, and now I'm going to Kitchener. I hope I cut enough. Ooh, didn't measure or think about that. It's alright, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm going to Kitchener the front to the this to this, and hope that it looks good. If not, I might just reinforce this area with a couple strips around to hide what might not have been a very good Kitchener. So Kitchener goes as if to purl, as if to knit. That's the setup row, and then it's two parts: knit off, purl and keep it on, purl off, knit and keep it on. I like to do it a little tight. Knit off, purl on, purl off, knit. When I say purl and knit, it's like the action if you were knitting. Into the stitches if you were knitting, rather than purling. So into the stitches if you were knitting and take it off the needle. Into the stitches if you're purling and keep it on the needle. Sorry if I just assumed. Purl. Do I not have the same number? Whoopsie. Purl off, knit on. And what I'm going to do is just knit, purl, knit off, purl on, knit off, purl off. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. Knit, and let's look at it. So it looks okay. Just a little loose. I'm going to tighten some stuff up. And I am going to try to reinforce this bottom part. Did you even see that in the angle of the camera? It's a little loose. I'm going to tighten everything up. And the iPad shut off. So what I'm going to do is I am going to wrap tightly around this intersection that is going to maybe get a lot of stresses from this loop. And then simply going to weave the loop in, and maybe back in on that loop. And that, my friends, is it. The stadium seat is finished. I'm going to weave in this last end, and then I'm going to keep my butt nice and warm and dry all winter. Thank you.